Good morning, good day, good evening. This is YieldMaxMindset YouTube channel coming to you with our Bitwise monthly ETFs and our RoundHill weekly payers. All these will be paid, if I'm not mistaken, on Tuesday of next week. Let's get to it. So these prices will vary each month. If you should happen to own some of the above ETFs, here is a roundabout payout you should receive. Below is what you should get paid out for owning the number of shares multiplied by the price per share. And always be reminded that the distribution will reduce the stock price. For example, if the stock price is $25 on the EX day, it will be reduced by $1, bringing the stock price to $24. And it could go lower if there's bearish mint in the market, and if there's bullish mint, then the price could still go up and you may not see that 24. But anyway, let's get to it. All right, first up we have here is of the Bitwise family. It's I missed that the underlying stock is going to be MicroStrategy. All right, so it closed yesterday at $29.32. Previously closed at $28.89. All right, previously paid out $3.75. Currently paying out $2.89. So if you invested over $14,445 into this fund, that will get you 500 shares. 500 shares will get you a monthly payment of $1,444.44. Next, we have ICOI. Underlying stock will be Underlying stock will be Coinbase. All right. Closed yesterday at $31.75. Previously closed at $31.51. Previously paid out $4.79 and currently paying out $3.94. All right. So if you invested over $63,020 into this fund, that will get you 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares would have gotten you a monthly payment of $7,870.94. Next, we have iMara. Underlying stock is going to be Mara. All right, closed yesterday at $36.29. Previously closed at $36.17. Previously paid out $3.20. Currently paying out $3.01. All right. So if you invested over $180,850 of this fund, that will get you 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares would have gotten you a monthly payment of $15,062.10. Next, we have IGME. Underlying stock is going to be GameStop. Closed yesterday at $35.08. Previously closed at $33.41. Previously paid out $3.43. All right, currently paying out $2.78. So if you invested over $334,100 into this fund, that will get you 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares would have gotten you a monthly payment of $27,776.50. Next, we have RoundHill weeklies. All right, first up is AAPW. Closed yesterday at $41.04. Previously closed at $41.50. Previously paid out 22 cents, currently paying out 27 cents. So if you invested over $2,075 into this position, that will get you 50 shares. 50 shares would have gotten you a payment this week of $13.36. Next week of $13.31. Next, we have AMDW. Closed yesterday at $67.90. Previously closed at $66. Previously paid out $1.37. Currently paying out $1.49. All right. So if you invested over $6,600 into this position, that would have gotten you 100 shares. 100 shares would have gotten you a payment this coming week of $149.13. Next, we have ARMW. It's a new position by RoundHill, which they have 4 new positions that we will cover in this video. And the first new position is ARMW. Closed yesterday at $50.87, and it doesn't have a distribution. All right. Next, we have AMZW. Closed yesterday at $43.96. Previously closed at $42.80. Previously paid out 50 cents. Currently paying out 33 cents. So if you invested over $4,280 into this position, there will be 100 shares. And 100 shares will get you a payment next week of $32.81. Next, we have AVGW. Closed yesterday at $53.60. Previously closed at $54.52. Previously paid out 74 cents. Currently paying out 71 cents. So if you invested over $27,260 to this fund, that would have gotten you 500 shares. 500 shares will get you a payment next week of $353.82. Next, we have BRKW. Closed yesterday at $45.36. Previously closed at $45.85. Previously paid out 22 cents. Currently paying out 20 cents. So if you invested over $45,850 into this fund, that would have gotten you 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares will get you a payment next week of $204.32. Next, we have a new position here by RoundHill, BABW. Closed yesterday at $52.32. Next, we have COIW. Closed yesterday at $35.51. Previously closed at $37.31. Previously paid out 80 cents, currently paying out 46 cents. All right. So if you had you invested $74,620 into this fund, that will get you 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares will get you a payment next week of $929.52. Next, we have our other new position, COSW, closed yesterday at $49.82. Next, we have GOOW, excuse me, closed yesterday at $60.53. Previously closed at $60.14. Previously paid out 53 cents, currently paying out 57 cents. So, had you invested over $300,700 into this position, that would have gotten you 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $2,873.33. Next, we have HOOW. Closed yesterday at $69.49. Previously closed at $70.47. Previously paid out $1.49. Currently paying out 85 cents. All right, so had you invested over $704,700 into this fund, that would have gotten you 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares will get you a payment next week of $8,500.58. Next, we have METW. Closed yesterday at $44.43. Previously closed at $43.33. Previously paid out 50 cents. Previously paid out, previously paid out 56 cents. Currently paying out 41 cents. So if you invested over $2,166 into this position, that would have gotten you 50 shares. And 50 shares will get you a payment next week of $20.56. Next, we have MSFW, closed yesterday at $45.87. Previously closed at $45.50. Previously paid out 37 cents, currently paying out 28 cents. So had you invested $4,550 into this fund, that would have gotten you 100 shares. 100 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $27.76. Next, we have MSTW. Closed yesterday at $25. Previously closed at $26.20. Previously paid out 39 cents. Currently paying out 36 cents. So, had you invested $13,100 into this position, that would have gotten you 500 shares. 500 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $179.43. Next, we have NFLW. Closed yesterday at $14. That doesn't sound right. 23rd. Disregard that $14 because that is not right. Must have been a copy or anyway, it's a mistake. All right, because there ain't no way it dropped that much. All right. So it previously closed at $41.64. Previously paid out 39 cents, currently paying out 29 cents. All right. So had you invested $41,640 into this position, that would have gotten you 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $292.24. Next, we have NVDW. Closed yesterday at $45.45. Previously closed at $45.58. So it paid previously 66 cents, currently paying 47 cents. So had you invested $91,160 into this position, that would have gotten you 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $946.48. Sorry about that. All right. Next we have PLTW. Previously closed yesterday at $44.89. Previously closed at $45.25. Previously paid out $1.01. Currently paying out $1. All right. So had you invested $226,250 into this position, that would have gotten you 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $4,976.83. Next, we'll have TSLW. Closed yesterday at $38.59. Previously closed at $38.48. Previously paid out 61 cents. Currently paying out 83 cents. So had you invested $384,800 into this position, that would have gotten you 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares would have gotten you a payment next week of $8,307.61. Next, we have MAGY of RoundHill Weekly ETF. Closed yesterday at $56.61. Previously closed at $56.07. Previously paid out 38 cents. Currently paying out 37 cents. So had you invested $2,803.50 into this position, that would have gotten you 50 shares. 50 shares would get you a payment next week of $18.37. All right. Next, we have UBEW, a new position of the weekly pairs of RoundHill. Closed yesterday at $51.65. It doesn't have a distribution because it's a new position. All right. This is YieldMaxMindset saying thank you for tuning into this channel. Please like if you like this video. Please dislike if you dislike this video. And leave comments in the bottom. And do share. All right. Let's continue to get these positions built up and get this revenue, cash flow, passive income flowing into our bank account, to our brokerage account, and into our bank account as we show desire. All right, this is YieldMax Mindset signing off. I'm out.